This is what you're seeing now, is a battle, unlike any other before. The more evolved, sustainable people are the socialists. If you're looking to breed, the woman who wanted to evolve will breed to the dog because she realizes that he is sustainable. The more Aspies who populate the planet, the more they are going to grow very sick and tired of paying for the stupidity of the people who don't evolve.
Interesting. Do go on about the Aspies' plot to take over the entirety of the world with their non-violence, their inability to lie or detect lying.
As they gain power, they will increasingly use that power to neutralize the physical strength of the, quote, alpha male.
Did Ray just assign himself and all other Aspies the role of beta? Accidental? I think he did.
What's more interesting is whether or not you agree with this theory. If you assume for a moment that it's correct, where are we going in the next 100 years? All the rules of socializing are wrong. You can say, well, men have to behave this way so that women will choose them, but it takes two to tango here.
I need for Ray to give me something more than simply his dribblings and analogies. Something concrete, something substantial. There are 19 minutes of content here. There must be something that I can use. All I've learned thus far in the 4 minutes I've been watching this is that Aspies aren't violent, and by virtue of that, somehow they will take over the world.
Do we celebrate the birth of a child if the parents are loud, stupid, and violent? Do we celebrate a $16,000 claimer when it's bred to two other $16,000 claimers versus, say, a future Kentucky Derby winner or someone who was bred to a Kentucky Derby winner? In other species, we breed the best of the best and you hope for the best. Here, we breed the worst of the worst and we get the worst and we pollute the earth, and the next thing you know, well, take a look at who your president is, as for which evolution is occurring.
Explain!
If I hold my fingers to my temples like this, mayhaps it will come to me faster. I will be able to finally understand. Nope. No, I got nothing. Nope. How? Did he start off with the rules of socializing being obsolete and suddenly conclude that breeding practices are flawed and that's how the current president was elected? What? I need something better than a lousy horsey analogy. How are the rules of socializing obsolete? How are breeding practices flawed amongst human race? Give me something to substantiate any of this. You can't just say it and have it be. You're not Jesus.
With that said, though, the unsustainability of loud, stupid, and violent behavior will eventually cause it to implode, as it did in 2009 when the financial system crashed.
Loud, stupid, and violence. That is why we had a recession. And here I was thinking that it was international trade imbalances and lax lending standards contributing to high levels of developed country household debt and real estate bubbles, U.S. government housing policies, and limited regulation on non-depository financial institutions. But, silly me, it wasn't that. It wasn't that, guys.
Then they got very evolved and socialist, and they wanted a bailout because they were good people. If they were good people, they wouldn't have stolen money from everybody and crashed the system. By bailing them out, of course, we enabled them, just like we enable con artists.
Don't you dare throw another analogy at me, Ray. I had it with you and your analogies. Give me statistics, give me studies, give me anything. Liberty, death, I don't care. Just give it to me.
When somebody is victimized by them. And we always say that poor victim who was defrauded. Well, that poor victim who was defrauded funded the frauding of other people. The con artist makes $1 million conning somebody and uses that money to con more people.
I figured out why this video is 19 minutes long, guys. It's the never-ending slew of analogies and ramblings of a madman that I've stumbled upon. Why have you done this to me? This was a viewer submission video. Why am I watching it? Why am I Why have I done this to myself? I have no one to blame. It's all me.
And of course, that reveals even more stupid behavior. Unsustainable behavior. That is stupid, I should say.
What is this even more unsustainable behavior? I must know.
At some point, you have to wonder, is the problem the person who writes the fake review or the person who believes it?
Oh my god. Discuss. Should people who believe fake online reviews be executed? What? Something tells me Ray is not a fan of people who criticize his books, and even less a fan of people who pay attention to those critics. I just have a funny feeling.
Now, applied to breeding, we have to look at who the women are choosing. Women want alpha males. No, stupid women want alpha males. Or alpha males is defined by the loud, stupid, and violent human.
Methinks someone is resenting the fact that he is not a Chad and hence cannot get laid. Is this true, Ray? Inquiring minds want to know. Of course, this is just my pet theory. But by virtue of it, you can rest assured that one day the lemurs will reign supreme over the crocodile. Much like that one Barbie movie wherein Rapunzel was trapped in a tower by Mother Gothel and then had a haircut. Oh, I'm sorry, did I lose you? That's because I dove too deep onto the smooth side of the brain spaghetti and can't find my retainer. Grapefruit!
But what happens when the rules change? You see, the wolf rules are based on a world where everyone is a wolf, or the ape rules on a world where everyone is an ape. Our human rules are based on a world where everyone's a human.
I'm not human!
On all levels except physical, I am a wolf.
Where all men are created equal, yet they aren't. Why am I trying to win over an unsustainable species? As an Aspie, why am I even caring what the bully thinks of me? He thinks I'm it's a curse word that begins with A, but not just one, but the biggest one he's ever met in his life. You know, I wonder about that. How many people do they call that? But apparently there's just a special place reserved for a certain type of A. And I don't mean Aspie. You're not just an A to them. You're the biggest one they've ever met.
Ray! Ray! Are you being bullied? Blink once for yes, twice for no, okay?
Why do they go out of their way to detonate and reveal that they don't like you? Are you that important? Are you that much of a threat to them? Apparently you are.
To be fair, you did just wax poetic about locking up non-Aspie humans in the near-too-soon future, my dude. So, I mean...
This is why jerk boyfriends often go insanely jealous over some geek that their girlfriend would never touch, because the wolf sees the dog, knows the dog is superior, and knows it's a matter of time before the she-wolf figures that out.
I don't think I've ever seen someone use incelibacy as a method of self-flagellation in my entire life.
Some geek that their girlfriend would never touch.
But you know what? There's a first for everything.
The she-wolves, unfortunately, still breed to wolves. They breed to the alpha males. Yeah, we hate our president, but when you ask a woman what her ideal husband or boyfriend is, guess what? He fits that bill to a T, doesn't he? So, at some point, the women are going to have to call on other women to stop polluting the earth with these bad boys, or they're going to have to stop complaining about it, which of course they won't do.
And there goes your dreams of an Aspie ethno-state there, Ray. Sorry, you hate to see it. You really do, but there it is.
You don't like men who harass you on the street, even though a catcall used to just be called heckling? Well, that man has a mother. Yes, he did have a mother who taught him not to be a wimp, a mother who looked for a bad boy. Well, you know, you are what you sleep with.
Are you implying that bad boys sleep with their mothers and as a result turn out to be bad boys? Or are the bad boys sleeping with their fathers and as a result turn out to be bad boys? I'm confused.
If all your girlfriends are sleeping with bad boys, don't be surprised if your child has to play with their children who are all bullies. So at some point, while you can't control female sexual selection, you can definitely encourage the right choices through information, through education, and through taxation. We don't want smokers, we tax cigarettes. We don't want obese people, we tax fast food. It's just the way it works.
Ray, I hope you're not suggesting we tax non-idyllic sexual encounters. How would you even enforce that? Just... Are you under people's beds monitoring the pitch and decibel of every moan and scream that sounds with a meter for austerity? Is that what's going on here?
Now, applied to the Aspie, if the Aspie will rule the world one day, I can tell you immediately that polygraphs will probably become the norm because they don't lie. Why would I fear a polygraph if I'm not lying? In fact, I want a polygraph, but if a world is run by liars, they're not going to let you use polygraphs in court because that's a weapon for them. The lie, that is. The polygraph is their kryptonite.
Ray, I think you vastly overestimated the utility of the polygraph in people's everyday lives. I really hope that's not the foundation of your plot to take over the world, Ray, because it's very underwhelming.
Nothing to fear. Now, again, applied to breeding, women are eventually going to start choosing men who are Aspies, because they're going to see that they are the winners.
Eventually. Meaning it hasn't happened yet, but oh boy it will.
Unfortunately, in a corrupt society, you can't follow the money, because if money is a reward for corruption, then a woman who chases money is chasing evil at the same time. She'll think she can get the money and then change the guy into somebody good, but she can't. She can't even change a man into an evolved Aspie, basically, or a wolf into a dog.
Women. A damn shame.
Your fantasies can't ever be quenched, can they? You freaking freaks! When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences?
The wolf has to do that itself. The DNA doesn't take outside input. If it did, we could breed the dog into 500 other species, but we don't. We get 500 different expressions or breeds of dog.
Humans are the one that are responsible for the breeding of like the 500 species of dogs that are out there right now, perverting our public parks with poo-poo. I didn't mean that, Daphne. Please forgive me. It was for a bit. I love you.
So the woman who's trying to tame the bad boy is fighting a losing battle. He will always be a bad boy.
When will you learn?
The woman who wants the good guy with the bad boy traits, yeah, I mean, those are like the tough breeds of dog, like the German Shepherd and whatnot, and those are very appealing to women.
Ray. Might I introduce you to one Whitney, Wisconsin? Something tells me that y'all might get along swimmingly.
You know, the collared bad boy. Unfortunately, though, what usually happens is they're just basically taking a wolf into their house, and the wolf will take over the house. You can't turn a wolf into a dog. Just choose the dog in the first place, but that doesn't give the woman the best of both worlds.
By virtue of the fact that dogs evolved from wolves, I think you'll find that you can, in fact, turn a wolf into a dog over several generations, but you get there eventually, I mean.
Well, eventually, this is going to become obvious as the Aspies gain power, and they have started gaining power on the internet. Several have become billionaires, and this is what you're seeing now, is a battle. Unlike any other before, where it's not just a political divide, but it's a genetic divide. You have the wolves, the loud, stupid, violent people, and dishonest people who want to rule the world with what we call conflict theory.
Social conflict theory, a Marxist-based social theory which argues that individuals and groups, social classes within society interact on a basis of conflict rather than consensus, wherein conflict acts as an engine of change, used to create new conflicts and contradictions in ongoing dialectic.
They want to starve the poor. They talk about handouts, welfare. What they're really saying is, I want feudalism. Feudalism.
What is feudalism? A social system in which the nobility held lands from the crown in exchange for military service, and vassals were in turn tenants of the nobles, while the peasants were obliged to live on their lord's lands and give him homage, labor, and a share of the produce. Notionality in exchange for military protection. What is not feudalism?
I want a world where I can enslave the poor, where women will beg me for sex because they need money, where people will beg for jobs because they need work.
That is not feudalism.
The more evolved, sustainable people are the socialists, who say, we're not violent, we don't need police officers. In fact, let's make violent crime punishable by life in prison, which the Aspies, I believe, will do one day.
Does Ray believe that people in the current year live in a feudal society?
Behavior, as it takes over, will cause women to start thinking, oh, DNA, intelligence, is now the new marker of a winner.
Ray, given what I've seen in this entire video, I am afraid you will never discover the outcome of that prediction, for as long as you live. Harsh. Wow, Weebo. Ooh.
If you're looking to breed, like if you were a female wolf, and you had a choice between breeding to dogs and wolves back whenever they were equal on this planet, the woman who wanted to help herself would breed to the wolf because, he could bite somebody or steal something. But the woman who wanted to evolve would breed to the dog because she realizes that he is sustainable, that the human is providing for him, that he's just basically a better bet for her future generations.
What I'm hearing from Ray is that the more degrees of separation between you and your next meal there happen to be, the more superior your genetics are. Right? Meaning that, in Ray's mind, dependency is the telltale sign of genetic superiority. Okay.
When that shift happens, that's when the Aspies will take over. And it's already starting to happen. This is your basic nice guy versus jerk. Oh, it's like they're different species. Well, they are.
Sir, I do not like what you're insinuating, that all nice guys are on the spectrum is simply not the truth. There are some assholes who are on the spectrum. And that, my friends, is where I'm stopping this part of the video for the day, because Ray is about to go into more nonsense, and I can only tolerate so much nonsense before I lose the ability to function. Tune in next week for more lunacy and, an amount of brain aneurysms that you've never seen from me before.